So, Half-Life 3 has had a lot of interesting leaked enemy types and locations, predominantly the Zen Gorilla, and most interestingly, the off-world locations that feature off-world workers, and you may be asking yourself, is this fucking Blade Runner? Like, what the fuck is this? Off-world prison colonies with worker slaves? Replicant slaves? Like, what the fuck is going on? Are we gonna have another shitty Blade Runner B-plot in a game? Like the one that was found in Fallout 4? And, by the way, no hate to Blade Runner. It's one of the most visually striking movies ever made. Probably one of the best movies ever made. But holy fuck, Fallout 4 was ass, and its Blade Runner influence was ass. Its noir was ass. It was piss poor noir at its finest. Anyways, jokes aside, I was just trying to make fun of Fallout 4 by making that Blade Runner extrapolation from that fucking off-world leaked location, and which, by the way, is just going to be, like it says, a prison colony where workers and people go to, and civilians go to. If they misbehave, they'll be sent to this slave worker colony. You know, it's just like a giant fucking planet McDonald's, I guess. Yeah, this entire slave colony thing is not unique to Blade Runner. It predates fucking Blade Runner and The Android's Dream Electric Sheep. It was found in Dune, for example. I think I remember reading about a slave colony in Dune, or maybe it was like a prison colony. Same shit, different toilet. I think it would be interesting to see Gordon infiltrating a prison colony made by the Combine like he did with Nova Prospect, for example, and he frees a bunch of slaves in a prison colony. That would be pretty fucking cool. I wonder if that's going to be a part of the storyline. Anyways, enough. Let's start with the first enemy, the most notorious, most infamous one, which is the Zen Gorilla. And it says right here, an enemy that likely has tentacle particles that has a retreat spot. Half-Life Alyx has a gorilla statue, also referenced in Half-Life 125th update as a spray. So, okay, referencing the gorilla statue in Half-Life Alyx is pretty dubious and questionable. I don't remember much about Half-Life Alyx in particular, but I'm pretty sure that entire mission was like an entire zoo exhibit. Like, We're pulling at strings here. We're pulling at threads that are gonna lead us nowhere. Like, of course a fucking zoo would have a fucking gorilla statue. Like, it's like one of the main attractions of any zoo is like a silverback fucking gorilla. Moreover, like, none of these sprays or the gorilla statue have these aforementioned tentacles. So it's like, what are we doing here? Oh, wait a minute. What if the gorilla is, like, mixed with the fucking Hydra, the unreleased enemy, the Hydra in Half-Life 2? What if it's got, like, the tentacles or, like, little Hydras or some shit? Oh, shit, that would be crazy! Oh, my god. And the Hydra is kind of like a particle effect in a way. Like, I wonder if that's... I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, the character design, though. A gorilla with tentacles. I gotta say, that's pretty interesting from a design perspective. I never in my life imagined a gorilla meets Cthulhu character design. A gorilla with tentacles is pretty terrifying, especially if it retreats into like dark crevices and has this like stalker, affect to it. I wonder if this Zen Gorilla is gonna have dragon wings like Cthulhu does. I don't know. This is a interesting character design. And next above that, we've got the Hound Eye. Everyone knows the Hound Eye. Everyone loves the Hound Eye. One of the most infamous, one of the most iconic character enemy designs of all time. And then we have the Zen Jellyfish, which I think we've seen in, Half-Life Alyx. And then we've got the Zen Swooper, a flying enemy that circles around in a certain spot, has a landing spot, and eats food. I think we've seen the Zen Swooper in Half-Life Alyx 2, or like or the original Half-Life. There's like those flying fucking things. It says right here, Zen might feature acid geysers. I wonder if these acid geysers are going to have a PvE aspects to them. You know, Zen, I gotta say, from a world-building perspective, Zen is actually pretty fucking interesting. It's like this entire universe, this entire world where our understanding of physics and biology doesn't add up. You've got all these, like, creatures living in this vacuum, it seems, like, in this vacuum of space, in this nebula, and it has this, like, entire ecosystem with all this flora and shit. I don't know, dude. I always found Zen to be a very fucking interesting world, and unlike anything I've ever seen. And I really, really, really do hope they flush it out more and expound upon it more. Anyways, it says right here, support for gravity-oriented nav... Ugh! Support for gravity-oriented nav was added. This would allow enemies to walk around planets like in Super Mario Galaxy. This would be for Zen, as Half-Life Alyx shows it having planets. So, allows enemies to walk around planets like in Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know exactly what they mean by this, because I'll be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. I've never played Super Mario Galaxy before. I never liked Mario. I never liked Legend of Zelda. The only games I ever liked that were like predominantly in the Nintendo space were the Final Fantasy games and Pokemon and like Suikoden and the Mother series and fucking Xenogears, fucking Xenosaga, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. And I realize I'm using the word Nintendo Sphere very liberally. Like a lot of those games have nothing to do with Nintendo and nothing to do. They're just all Japanese, okay? And they're all the same to me. They're all the same to me. Sony, Nintendo, Square Enix. Oh, what's the difference? I just never got into fucking the Mario and Legend of Zelda games and Pokemon. I barely got into Pokemon. This is all to say that I have no idea what the fuck they mean by this. I'm gonna have to like do some research. Anyways, so yeah. Zen will likely look like Half-Life Alyx Zen. There's a great SFM animation by the Paragon using Half-Life Alyx assets that even has a design jellyfish. Okay, I might have to look that up. And next we got this off-world section. This is the Blade Runner section. So it says right here, Citizen Notice, failure to cooperate will result in permanent off-world relocation. So that sounds very much like Blade Runner. Very much like Blade Runner, except there was a dualistic quality to the off-world colony thing. It's either paradise or it's hell. You move off-world to escape the disgusting, smog-ridden, rain-sleeked streets, neon-lit streets of Los Angeles, or you go to fucking a prison colony. So, okay. The off-world seems to be a work camp where Combine and citizens are sent if they misbehave, likely to prepare resources for the Combine. Off-world could also just refer to any location that isn't Earth, including Zen, but there seems to be a clear distinction from Zen as a location in the hint notes. So great. I am glad that Half-Life 3 is going to be expanding beyond the Earth, expanding beyond Zen, and we're going to see more Combine architecture, more Combine monstrosities. And I remember, like, in Half-Life 3 Epistle, Laidlaw talked about how the Combine made a Dyson sphere around their sun, and it was like this huge Dyson sphere, and like repurposed and retrofitted entire planets to serve their utility. And I would really like to see like this huge, overwhelming slave colony planet that's like got like imagine Supermax Prison, but like a planet where it's like the entire planet is like covered in like security confining apparatus shit, like I don't know, like entire like force field around the planet that prevents anyone from escaping, or like the entire planet itself is wholly encapsulated by like a hollow metal confining container, metallic container, some shit. And the planet is like filled with like hundreds of different species that the Combine conquered. And there's a lot of interesting world building things you can do with this. And I think Valve is gonna exceed expectations. So we got off-world worker. The off-world features workers that work at set locations and then return to set locations. There are also hint nodes for picking up and jumping off physics props, but it's unknown for those if those are for the off-world or Combine. Off-world storks are flying creatures that restock resources at a set location, then deploy at a set location. Storks are flying creatures that restock resources, at a set location, and then deploy at a set location. So is this how Gordon's gonna get his resources on this fucking planet? He's gonna like, I'm like imagining like him befriending like a crow-like creature, where you give him like food and then he gives you resources or some shit. That's like what I imagine in my head. Like he's like he like fucking tames a fucking stork, and has them like fly across the fucking prison colony and grab resources for him or some shit. I don't know. It's probably gonna be like, I think when they're referring to a stork, they're probably referring to like a slaved species by the Combine that helps them with their fucking prison bullshit. If I'm gonna spitball in the dark here. And by the way, that's not mutually exclusive. The enslaved storks might inadvertently help Gordon in his infiltration and his battle in the prison planet, perhaps. Pentatank, some kind of tank with 5 legs, given the name, and set sentry points for turrets. Could be a crab-like combine tank, or a literal fill tank protected by turrets. That would be so fucking interesting. I'm so interested to see more combine, like, vehicles. Especially like a crab-like combine tank. There was like these crab-like tanks like in the Citadel that it was only briefly shown at the end of Half-Life 2. Some kind of tank with 5 legs and set sentry points for turrets. Having like a boss fight with a combine crab-like tank with like 20 different turret spots. You gotta shoot down each individually and shoot down each leg. Pretty fucking cool. Science, we got the science asset tag. This is inconsequential. Foundry. So, the foundry seems to be a metal foundry with set spots for welding and communications. It could be its own location, or it could be in the off-world, given that the off-world might be a work camp. Given the communications hit node could be for a strategic location for a player, the player might have to invade the foundry or turn off its ability to communicate. A lot of the stuff is nebulous. I think the foundry sounds like a slave location. It's giving me like, what's that? Not point lookout. What's that fucking, that pit DLC from Fallout 3? What's that fucking pit DLC called? I can't remember. But it's reminding me of that. When I see the word foundry next to off-world slave colony, that's what I'm imagining right now. So, dude, there's not enough information. Like, there's not a lot to go off of. Like, yeah, there's not much. Like, I'm really scraping this grill thin. Like, I don't know what else to say about the foundry. It's for a spot for welding and communications. Huh. I don't know. I don't think there's not much to go off of here. They say here that, like, given the communications hint node, there could be a strategic location for combat. The player might have to invade the foundry to turn off its ability to communicate. So maybe it's like the HQ of this, like, off-world prison colony? I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. I'm just imagining a fucking slave pit in my head. And fuck, I mean, that's pretty much it. We got some side information here. These are like the participation trophies, I guess. I mean, like, this shit's even more nebulous, and they're even more unsure of whether or not this is related to Project HLX. So the first thing we have is Agent has a spot that they work towards. Off-world, Agent, work a goal. Okay. The Instigator has a spot that it lurks from. Hint, Instigator, lurk. Are they referring to a stalker? I don't know. Feral Manhack has a spot that it drags itself towards. Feral enemies seem to be a whole class of NPCs with their own squads. Feral Manhacks. Now this is... Okay, wait a minute. This could bring an interesting dynamic, to be honest. Like, what if there is, like, some kind of fucking... Because we know, like... Well, the head crabs are not really, like, a virus or some shit. But what if there's, like, some kind of virus that turns, like, not even, like... That turns, like, the Combine entities into, like, feral, rabid, fucking zombie forms or some shit. That's, like, related to the head crabs in some way. I don't know. Got, like, the fucking, like, micro head crabs or some shit. I don't know. Don't listen to me. Feral Manhack, maybe there's, like, a computer virus. I don't know. That you upload and it turns them into your side or some shit. I don't fucking know. Koosh Child. An enemy that has a water source spot. It's hard to tell whether it refers to an enemy named Koosh Child, or the child of an enemy named Koosh. No idea. Fly Guy jumps at a certain spot. Fly Guy, okay. Howler, there's something at a set target spot. Okay. Fitter has holes/pipes that it uses to burrow. Has holes/pipes that it uses as a burrow to hide itself in. This is similar to the naming for a similar system that Atlan's had in Half-Life 2. So I guess this is like related to the landlines. I don't know, dude. This is like nothing, to be honest. Aside from the Zen and the off-world sections, this is nothing. I guess the feral man hacks and the feral side could maybe be something. I have no idea, dude. This shit is released already. I'm tired of this shit. I really am. I'm fucking tired of this bullshit. We need to get this shit released ASAP.